All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Salakia. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth at 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson, A True Example of a Help Me. And I got a video here from the Pop the Balloon show, the one with Arlette Amuli. I don't know how you pronounce her last name, but that one particular chick, Arlette, whoever, right? And it's a particular whatever this episode 83. At the end, it was a particular woman. You will see who she is in the dress. And the spirit that she was coming in is the exact spirit that, women are really supposed to be coming in. Women are supposed to be coming in a submissive spirit as looking to follow a man, right? And you will see that this Jake, he wasn't ready for that type of energy because, a lot of men aren't used to that type of energy. A lot of men aren't taught to, you know what I'm saying, look for that type of energy. A lot of men, they look to the woman for what she want to do, how she want to move and everything like that, right? But the scriptures say that a woman is supposed to be in subjection to a man. A woman is supposed to follow her man's lead, right? And the woman was made for the man and not the other way around, right? So look, I'm gonna go into this video here and I'm gonna play a little bit of it at the end, a little willing to be edifying, right?
Okay. So what does your initial first date look like with a man?
My initial first date is asking him where he wants to bring me. And daytime, is he a planner? So I will know kind of where he's at and what he has in store and what type of life I would be walking into. So my initial first date would be up to the man. I would not want to be the one planning that.
Yeah, okay. Well, I wasn't saying like plan, like what type of stuff would you like to do on the first date as far as, are you into?
I want to do what he wants to do.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm there to learn him.
Yeah.
And I'm there to know him.
But he got to learn you too, though.
And he'll learn me when I walk into his world.
Okay. God damn. Okay.
But walk into my world first, I'm not providing a world for you. So
Not at all.
my world really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It matters to the extent of what have I cultivated?
Yeah.
Have I nurtured my world? Where can my world take him, right? When I enter his world. So that's why I won't present the preconceived notion of what I want to do, because he might show me something new. And now I just
Right.
limited myself
Yeah.
to what I'm already exposed to, and I never gave him a chance to step me into his world. So
Damn. Okay. Can we bring her up here or what?
Do you have any questions for him?
well, my question is, what is important to you, the most thing important to you in terms of a goal? And do you love and fear God? Do you want marriage? Do you want children? Do you already have kids? Are you fertile? I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to. There's,
fertile?
See, it's a real thing.
Right.
No, there's a lot to unpack,
Right.
which I was trying to let you unpack, but now we're here.
So now,
So what's the first do you?
I would say pick one. You know.
I don't have kids. I'm not against marriage at all. I will, if I find the right one, because I feel like today's time people get married for all the wrong reasons. They get married to impress other people or to make it seem like they're up here when really behind closed doors they down here. So for the right person, I will do that. As far as children go, if my person wants kids, that's what it is. And I'm definitely with that.
And your relationship with the Lord.
All right, so that's all I'm gonna play it at. But as you see the responses that she had is, when he asked, "What's your ideal first date?" Well, her response was, "Well, whatever he wants to do, whatever the man wants to do." That's my ideal first date. Whatever the man wants to do, because I'm stepping into his world. And she even said, she was like, I'm not even gonna, why am I trying to um limit myself by just sticking to what I know when I could step into his world and learn something new. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mindset that a woman is supposed to have, right? That is a very feminine mind. And when you look at her, she looks like a very feminine, soft, submissive woman. You know what I'm saying? She got on the nice, cute red dress. You know what I'm saying? It's not, super tight on her body, showing off her figure and everything like that. It ain't a freakum dress. She got her natural hair. She's got to put up in a cute little style and everything like that. She looks like a very feminine, soft woman. You know what I'm saying? And her words and her demeanor portrayed that, right? Her responses portrayed that she was a very feminine and soft woman. And that's the spirit that women are really supposed to come in, you know. But being over here in Babylon the Great, and this is rare, you don't really see this a lot. You know what I'm saying? But being over here in Babylon the Great, a lot of women have been indoctrinated by feminism, and they think that the man is supposed to be a servant of them. You know what I'm saying? And the man is supposed to be a pleaser of them and doing what they want to do. And that's not how it's supposed to be. This woman, the spirit that this woman is coming in, that's how a woman is supposed to be. But, this Jake, he don't know how to handle that because he's never really experienced that. You see his main focus was, well, what does she want to do? What does she want? How can I make her happy? But this woman, she coming in the spirit of, I'm supposed to be making you happy. I'm supposed to be, coming in the spirit of pleasing you as a woman, pleasing the man. And that's the spirit that these women are supposed to come in, right? So let's go ahead and go to the scriptures. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord, right? Submit means to be in subjection, right? It says the Greek word is hypotasso, or
Strong's G 5293. Hupatasso. Hupatasso.
hupatasso, right? It says to arrange under, to subordinate, to subject, put in subjection, to subject oneself, obey, to submit to one's control, to yield to one's admonition or advice, to obey, be subject, right? So a woman is supposed to be in subjection. She's supposed to obey her husband. She's supposed to obey her man. Do what he tell her to do. That's what a woman is supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be doing what her man tells her to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's the spirit that woman came in. She came in the spirit of, she's ready to find a man who she can submit to, who she can subject herself to. And that's the spirit that women are supposed to come in. Verse 23, it says, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahushua is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Yahushua, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything, right? Because you got that one video, I did a video of it a while back, where that Keisha, she was getting married to a Jake, and they were doing their vows, and the part came up where it says, well, where she was supposed to say to obey, and she was like, oh, hold on, we ain't talk about that. We ain't talk about that now, Pastor. We ain't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? The average Keisha is like, nigga, I ain't finna openly admit to obeying a man. That ain't what I want to do. That's because they've been indoctrinated with this feminist rhetoric that a woman is supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever the hell she want to do. What the hell Salakia. Speaking of women, it was a woman with a car. It kept. She was just trying to drive off, and it kept on stopping on her. But the average woman, especially the average Keisha out here, she don't want to be in subjection to a man, right? And she definitely don't want to admit it openly, right? Now, their feminine nature, you know what I'm saying? When they come across a particular type of man, sometimes they'll fall into that, right? And that's because it's really their nature to submit to a man. It's really in their nature to submit to men. You know what I'm saying? And when they come across, when they get that emotion and they feeling a man, and he putting down the law, he putting down instructions on her, a lot of times she really ain't got no choice in the matter. She just falls in line, right? But we do have a doctrine of feminism where these women, you know they try and resist that. They try and resist submitting to a man, being in subjection to a man, following a man's lead. And I say this too all the time, brothers. You got to have your life in order. You got to have your life, or a structure to your life, before you try and bring a woman into your life. You got to have a way that you do things. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we do things in accordance with the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, hey, you got your daily routines. You got your things. You got your disciplines that you do. You know, especially just outside of work. You read, you do video lessons. You go to the gym, you work out. You do particular things that or even, hell, even hobbies, even something that you're just interested in. You know what I'm saying? That you put a little bit of time to. When we're not doing the work of the Lord, right? You got to have your life in order first, in order to expect the woman to follow you. You know what I mean? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31. I'm going to start at verse 10, and it says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her, Salakia, the heart of her husband, doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil," right? And his heart safely trusts in a woman because she follows his lead. She is in subjection to her. You know, she follows his lead. She does, what he tells her to do. He does what he needs her to do. She's a reflection of him. Like, I've even heard a saying, I don't trust women, I trust my leadership, right? And that's real talk. You don't trust a woman because a woman can't even trust herself. But you can trust a woman who is under your leadership. You can trust a woman who is choosing to subject herself to your structure and to your guidance, right? Verse 12, it says, she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life because she respects him. Not only just love, because a woman can love you and have a strange rod in her mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's really all about respect and that fear. You know what I mean? Like, we fear Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Your woman should have a level of fear for you because you're the stronger being. You're the stronger you're the stronger entity in the situation. Verse 13, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She ain't a lazy bitch, right? You got these women out here talking about they want a man to, take care of them so they can live a soft life and they can just, they can just not work and do whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Well, there ain't no Proverbs 30. Then they'll have Proverbs 31, in their bio or something on Instagram. That's not a Proverbs 31 woman. It says right here, she seeketh wool and worketh willingly with her hands, right? She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She rises also Salakia, she riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens, right? She up before the sun come up. These women, a lot of these women, they want to sleep in. You know what I'm saying? Wake up at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Put on they fucking big fuzzy slippers with that goddamn bonnet on, or some flip flops, clacking all through the house and shit. You know what I'm saying? But a real virtuous woman, a real woman, she gonna get up before the sun comes up. She getting up early, just like her man is getting up to go and put in that work for the family. Verse 16, she considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reacheth for her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. Right? She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sitteth among the elders of the land, she maketh fine linen, and selleth it, and delivereth girdles into the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness, right? Because you got a lot of women, all they really care about is themselves. It got a lot of women who all they care about is themselves, what they want to do, what is pleasurable to them, how they feel, and everything like that. Even women who have kids, who's supposed to be, have families. But, you got a lot of these women who are just single mothers, and unfortunately, a lot of single mothers don't really care about their kids, you know. A lot of these single mothers who is out here, they talking about some how hard it is, and this and that, but it wouldn't be so hard if you had a husband. But also at the same time, these women are really estranged to hard work, because even when you're with a husband and you got a man, it's still work to be done. A woman still got to put in work for the household. That's a woman's role. That's her job. She's supposed to be putting in work for her household, right? It's the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18, and it reads, "And the Lord Yahweh said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him and help me for him. And out of the ground the Lord Yahweh formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an help me for him. And the Lord Yahweh caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord Yahweh had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bones of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man," right? A woman's primary role is supposed to be a helpmeet to a man. That's her primary role, right? She's supposed to get with that man's plan and get with his agenda. And she's supposed to add value to that. She's supposed to aid in that, under his instructions, under his structure. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, starting at verse 8. And it reads, "For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man," right? because the woman came from the man. It says, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man, right? The woman is created for the benefit of the man. It's not the other way around. But as the scriptures say, surely the turning upside down of things should be esteemed as the potter's clay. That's what has happened here in Babylon. These women think that a man was made for them, to the point to where, like, it's so dumb to me. Women actually say that God is a woman, right? But why are you bitches so weak? Why did the woman God create you all to be so weak and dependent on men, right? And they'll say, well, the man was supposed to create and build everything for the woman and under the guidance and the structure of the woman, but that ain't what happened. It has never happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, is God really a woman? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai is a man, spirit of a man. And the Most High created you women for us. And things would be a whole lot better if you all just fell into your role. But of course, because of our wrongdoings, our going off and, departing from Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, he's put the spirit on our women to do the same thing that we did to him. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we go through the things that we go through, right? Salakia, man. Salakia. And let me go here to the book of Sirach. Chapter 7, verse 25. And it says, let me start at verse 23. It says, hast thou children? Instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth. Hast thou daughters? Have care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed the weighty matter. But give her to a man of understanding, right? And see, in the ancient times, men would be over, we had a thing called arranged marriages. And, men wouldn't just give their daughter to any old knucklehead nigga. You know what I'm saying? That man had to have some type of understanding. That man, number one, he had to have understanding of, of the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's number one. But he also had to be a man who he knew who was going to take care of his daughter, But, we got this day and age where, the women, they want the bad boy. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this about the whole bad boy thing. Women just really want an element of excitement when they deal with a man. And it don't necessarily have to be where you got to be a street nigga or nothing like that. 9 times out of 10, it goes to a sexual excitement, right? So if you can add that element into how you deal with women, like, you kind of itch out certain problems or the desire problems when it comes to women. Women want an aspect of sexual excitement. You know what I'm saying? So when you get that, those particular problems start to go away, right? But it's also still a thing of, as a man, you got to be responsible. You ain't got to necessarily be a dumbass or a knucklehead nigga. A woman who she just like a knucklehead nigga. You know what I'm saying? She fucked up in the mind no way. You don't want to go near that bitch, right? But even a woman, she has a decent head on her shoulders. She might have a good job. She might be responsible herself and everything. She still want a little bit of excitement. And she's looking for the man to provide that, right? But sometimes to get that, they deal with men who, you know, or we look at as they might not be good for them. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, Lord willing, this video was edifying. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Chakorash. And until next time, Shalom.